Buffalo's Outer Harbor starts at the historic 1833 Buffalo Lighthouse just across from Canalside. During the summer months, you can catch a ferry from Canalside to the Outer Harbor. And then there's all this, the great wilderness that is the Great Lakes. Buffalo's Outer Harbor is the western gateway to the Niagara River Corridor, globally significant important bird area. The whole area is also part of the recently declared Ramsar Wetlands of International Importance. These designations recognize the importance of our biodiversity and that there are ongoing critical threats to these precious ecological resources. These designations are recognized around the world and demonstrate that our conservation value based on our location is equivalent to the Galapagos, Yellowstone, and the Florida Everglades, and other places that have these designations. What we do here counts towards hemispheric and global health. We are really lucky that we have so many places to enjoy the Outer Harbor, and the whole area provides opportunities for all of us to enjoy the greatness of the Great Lakes shorelines. We're at Times Beach Nature Preserve in downtown Buffalo. We're doing a lot of work to preserve the environment down here and to make sure that this area remains free and open to the public and a viable place, an important place for wildlife. I'm at the Bell Slip on Buffalo's Outer Harbor. The public has spent millions of dollars to restore habitat here, and it's really working. The fish have come back. This area is an emerging copse of cottonwood trees, and there's a sand dune habitat that comes from old dredge from the old Bell Slip, and it's brought with it a seed bank of plants that you don't see anywhere in the Great Lakes anymore. There's beautiful plants and birds that are using the area. It's such an important place. We need to protect it, preserve it, and make sure that this is available for generations to come. We should be thinking about building for resiliency. Since Halloween of 2019, when we had a tremendous storm that included historic high Lake Erie water levels, hurricane-force winds, and a huge seiche that damaged breakwalls around our shorelines, flooded places like the Queen City Landing Site and Canalside, and did tremendous damage to places like Times Beach Nature Preserve, we've had 9 very bad and damaging storms that have impacted our outer harbor and our city. At that time, Governor Cuomo declared a state of emergency, and we are all still working to repair catastrophically damaged areas. We could, and maybe should be thinking about the outer harbor as a kind of a barrier island. We should build for resiliency and not expose human lives, including first responders and condo owners and residents, to danger. In the good times, the outer harbor is a great place to enjoy and promote our quality of life and to enjoy the outdoors, nature, water, and sky. In the bad times, it can save property and lives if we design it to be resilient and to shelter our city. The Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation has come a long way in terms of promoting green space and recreational opportunities for people to enjoy. But it is a development corporation that mandates profitability rather than resiliency. The threat of inappropriate development still looms large. For instance, the place they call the First Buffalo Marina, which is directly across from Times Beach Nature Preserve, could still be designated for private housing and intensive retail and commercial space. This kind of development at this location is what we've been fighting against since the very beginning, when the ECHDC proposed extensive privatization and sprawl on the Outer Harbor. The damage that Times Beach Nature Preserve will be subject to will change our opportunities to protect and conserve the ecologically critical Outer Harbor for generations to come. It makes sense that an agency or an organization with a mission to create and manage a park or a nature preserve become the guiding light for the future of our Outer Harbor. We are also concerned that the state will privatize or demolish Terminal A, which is the historic Ford Motor Plant. There's a lot of concern about the concert venue that's being built adjacent to the mountain bike park. Not only does this venue privatize this section of publicly owned Outer Harbor and charge concert goers to use the space, but the impact on traffic, noise, lights, and importantly, parking will have substantial negative effects on the peace and tranquility and the integrity of nature. There are important concerns about the plan to take the Skyway down. The stated purpose of this project is to open up development on the Outer Harbor. This would further fragment nature. In addition, the new highway that's being planned will go through Tiff Nature Preserve and will remove acres of valuable wetland. The extensive cost of both the removal and the remaking of the roadway connectors requires transparency and public scrutiny. And don't we have publicly vetted transportation priorities, including the Kensington to Skidjackwada light rail and the 190, which separates our community from our waterfront? We need honest public dialogue about all of this. Today, as we come close to the summer of 2021, it's as important as ever to try to protect Buffalo's Outer Harbor from inappropriate development. These grasslands and woodlands are as important to birds as any place in the Great Lakes. The physical connections from Buffalo to important places on this planet are profound. In the summer, we have birds that breed here that winter in the Amazon and in the Caribbean. Hundreds of thousands of birds that are born here make their epic journey to those places during migration. Monarch butterflies rely on this area during breeding and migration season. This is a critical stop on their journey south. In the winter, we have birds that come here from the Arctic and the boreal forests of the Pacific to seek food, shelter, and safe harbor. If you are an environmentalist or a nature lover and you want to protect the Arctic, the Amazon, and other critically endangered places in this hemisphere and around the world, you can start here by protecting our Outer Harbor. This special place, which really does belong to all of us, is our Outer Harbor.